Everybody's at that Chiefs game.
Huh?
I said everybody's at that Chiefs game.
Oh, yeah.
There's like 8 people here.
8. I'm saying 18. Hey, everybody. Drinking Chaburger with another episode of Kansas Missing and Unsolved broadcast. And Derek's with me here from Arizona. We got Brandon hiding backstage in North Carolina. How's everybody doing?
This is my computer is way behind back here. It is going real slow. My lips are moving way later after I talk. Let me see if that fixes it. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that fixed it for the most part.
Yeah,
I guess we just won't put that on the screen. I can just do this actually. Just bam, bam, bam. There we go.
There?
I think that'll be better. Oh, I just had it scrolling on the bottom of the screen, but I think that uses. I have problems with StreamYard on my computer. Trisha Arnold's here from YouTube.
Yep. Hopefully she's wearing her hoodie tonight.
Right, yeah. Brandon ordered his hoodie. I'm going to get mine soon.
Me too.
I'm going to get a hat first so people can see it. Then we got Junction City, Andrea Lynn.
Yep. We got Cindy and Parsons. Roxanne down there in Oklahoma.
There she is.
Yep. Up to 25.
Yep.
I'm getting there.
Kelly's here. What's up, Kelly?
Hey, Kelly.
Donda's here.
Kelly, who is your profile picture? It's an interesting picture.
Let me see. Oh, yeah. Christy Powers is in the house from Garden City, my old stomping grounds. Tell you what, man, Kansas was in the news all day yesterday, nationwide. My hometown was on Good Morning America this morning.
Yeah. Oh, because of the windstorm yesterday?
Yeah. Andrea says she doesn't miss shows even when the game's on. Right? Yeah.
Well, I'd say that was one heck of a windstorm yesterday. Gee, no nitty.
Yeah, that was pretty nasty. Elkhart, where I'm from, they had several fires around the area. They had down power lines. They had wrecks galore, flipped trailers. I mean, I think they recorded 100 miles an hour at one point in there in Elkhart.
Russell recorded 100 mile an hour at one point. Here in Salina, we had one of 89 mile an hour. So
that wind just didn't care, man.
No, it didn't.
I wasn't there, but I knew it. I mean, it kind of tried to do that back in 2001 a little bit. But as weird as it's kind of out of season for a dust storm like that, you know, like that usually happens in a different part of the year. So I don't know what it means. Independence, Kansas in the house, but yeah, some very wicked weather.
Andrew's saying they had about 100 mile an hour in Junction City too. Woo!
Wow.
At one point, I was standing at my balcony door just watching the shingles blow off the roof. It was crazy.
Tammy's here. Wichita's in the house. Yeah. Wamego. My brother-in-law lives out in Wamego.
Cool.
I watch a lot of their football games on Facebook Live during the football. I don't know. He was a senior this year, so I don't know if I'll watch anymore. But
yeah, lots of damage was done. Oh, definitely. We had some businesses here in town lose their roofs. Crosswalk traffic light down half a block down from me was laying in the street, and I saw a snap power light pole down the street this afternoon.
Jeez.
Oh my goodness, it was just crazy.
Andrea said a tree fell on her fence.
Still folks here in town without power. They're still trying to get that all squared away.
Yeah, nasty stuff, man. Nasty dust storm. Yeah. And I think I might have a picture of my hometown yesterday.
I know you showed me one yesterday. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I think I have it on here still. Yeah. Where's it at? I'll find it. Okay, I'll pull that one up, but let me go ahead and get that one from Facebook real quick. Because it was wild. So if you Google Elkhart, Kansas, there's not a lot about the country, the town, and on Google or anything, and there's not a lot of images. But if you go to Google and you type in Elkhart, Kansas, and you put in Google Images, there's one picture that's famous, and we call it famous because we were all from there. And when you Google your hometown, so this picture is from the 30s. This is downtown Elkhart in the 30s, and that was the Dirty 30s. You know, like that's what it was named after, the Dirty 30s.
Right.
Well, this was yesterday in Elkhart downtown. I think it's somewhat the same. I think it was just as bad as the Dirty 30s, man.
Man.
I
And
mean,
at one point I saw a bird trying to fly into the wind, and the wind just took it the opposite direction completely.
Trisha Arnold's actually, I didn't even, I mean, I think my grandpa sent me a text message saying he was flying a kite. He was flying a steel kite with steel wire, and I didn't know what he meant, but he was basically saying his farm was blowing away. But yeah, Trisha tagged me in a photo. It was I think it was KWCH was running the video. A guy I know, Jared Tucker from Elkhart, recorded, and yeah, I saw it on Good Morning America this morning. I thought that was pretty cool.
Ooh,
Donna says she lived there.
Andrea says they have no water in Junction City right now.
Ooh,
that's not good.
That is bad news.
Mm-hmm.
Garden City in the house. How you doing?
All
We're
right,
gonna cover a couple of Garden City area cases tonight. We're gonna try to get to the bottom of those. We want to appreciate
Council Grove up there too.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Patty Phillips Cosgrove. Okay. Well, I tell you what, we are going to go ahead and cover some cases.
Okay.
And we'll be right back after this. You're listening to the Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast.
All right.
If you or someone you know is experiencing a suicidal crisis or emotional distress, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255.
All right. This is one that I just posted not too awful long ago. Today, Derek Kelly is missing from Hays, Kansas since yesterday. He's 36. He's 5'9", weighs 250 pounds, has brown hair and blue eyes. He left Hays yesterday and was heading to Natoma, Kansas in the midst of the windstorm. It's unknown what route he took to Natoma. He was driving his blue 2004 Dodge Durango. Don't have a license plate number at this point. Again, he's 36. He's 5'9", weighs 250 pounds. He has brown hair and blue eyes. He was last seen wearing a black shirt, black hoodie, and blue jeans. If you have any information regarding Derek's disappearance, or you know his whereabouts, please call the Ellis County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 785-625-1040 or KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't help get him found and back to where he needs to be. Hopefully he's safe out there. And kind of concerning considering he drove off into the wind yesterday.
And so many people did. I had a friend that drove from Elkhart to Eastern Kansas.
Oh,
I think Leavenworth. Yeah. I mean, I guess we're just cut different from Kansas, man. I would never get up and start driving through that monstrosity, but that's very concerning.
I had to do a little bit of running yesterday morning before it really got bad, and got back home before it started getting really bad, and I didn't go anywhere else the rest of the day. So
no.
It's like, nope, I am not getting out in this craziness.
And I mean, I understand, a windstorm, it could, cause Derek to run off the road. It could make worst case scenario, it could make his car roll over or something, But I mean, to not make it where he can't call somebody or text somebody, that's a little concerning.
Trisha's saying she's going to have to replace her roof. I'm sure a lot of people, our insurance companies are probably just like
lining up,
crying the blues right now on when they're going to have to pay out.
Adjusters are flocking to Kansas as we speak.
Yeah.
Kim Steinel, butcher from Newton in the house. How you doing, Kim? Jason,
Victoria. All right.
If anybody's seen Derek Kelly, so I got a lot of worried people here. Patty says she hopes he's found safe and sound.
Yeah. Hopefully he is safe out there. Hopefully he didn't get blown off into a ditch or something.
Right. Now, you did want to talk about this unsolved homicide tonight, Tony.
Yeah, I had a friend of hers actually message me not long before the show and ask if we could talk about her tonight. And she said it had been quite some time. She sent me a link, actually, and it was to the Johnson County, Kansas Sheriff's Department, and I'll read their post here real quick. Let me pull that up here. And it was posted on the 7th of this month, actually. It says today marks the 25th anniversary of the disappearance of 15-year-old Tanya Knight, who was last seen in Spring Hill, Kansas on December 7, 1996. Tragically, her body was recovered near the Spring Hill Cemetery 6 months later. On June 7, 1997, Johnson County Sheriff's Office believes someone knows who is responsible for Tanya's disappearance and death. And they're asking if anybody has the information related to the case to contact the Johnson County Sheriff's Office at 913-715-5560, or you can provide an anonymous tip. Call the Crime Stoppers hotline at 816-474-8477. And see if I can add to that from her flyer here that I had posted. They did rule it as a homicide following an autopsy. Apparently, she was intending on walking to a friend's house, but she never made it. And I've watched some videos and things on Tanya's case, and they feel like that on the path to where she was walking to, that she was lured into the cemetery and killed there.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yep. So, yeah. If anybody has any information on Tanya's case at all, again, those numbers again, Johnson County, Kansas Sheriff's Office, 913-715-5560, or you can submit information anonymously at Crime Stoppers, 816-474-8477, and see if we can get some leads going to help them find out who did this to Tanya.
Right.
She and her family deserve justice, and her friends need to see this, disclosed as well.
Right.
So let's help them out. Let's help them out.
10,000 reasons to say something.
Definitely. That's been going on too long. I mean, you're talking 25 years. So, I mean, let's just let's help this situation. If anybody knows anything, and I'm sure somebody does, it's time to speak up.
Yeah, I hate that. That's too long.
25
You can
years.
tell. Yeah, you can tell by these photos that it's an old case.
Yeah. Yeah, she was so young too.
Yep. Diana showed up.
Yep. Late as always, she says.
We're going to talk about our producer. This is a friend of our producer who went missing a couple years back, and hasn't been really any updates on it other than we went ahead and updated the flyer, and we wanted to go ahead and tell you about. He goes by Dean, but Philip Dean Hare. Yeah,
he's missing from Raleigh, North Carolina since August 13th of 2018. He was 42 when he went missing. He would now be 46. He is 6'2", 200 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. He was last seen by his family in Raleigh, where he was living at the time. On August 26th of 2018, his family received a text from Philip stating he was in Greensboro working. His cell phone was turned off by the phone company for failure to pay shortly after. When law enforcement checked on his residence, his mailbox was full of mail, but the residence itself was empty. Again, at the time of his disappearance, he was 42, and he would now be 46. He's 6'2", weighs 200 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Philip's disappearance, or you know his whereabouts, call the Raleigh, North Carolina Police Department at 919-996-3335 or 919-831-6311 and see if we can't help get Philip found and back to where he needs to be so his loved ones know he's okay.
Yeah. That's rough, just no clues or anything. Everything gone from his place.
Yeah. Mailbox crammed full, but the house was empty.
Makes you wonder, where all of his stuff went. I mean, Brandon had mentioned that he had talked about backpacking overseas.
Yeah.
But it just makes you wonder, wouldn't somebody have noticed Philip selling all of his stuff? Or
Yep, and you're very welcome, Brandon. Anything we can do to help get him found, man. Anything we can do. Be
He
nice
looks like
if
a young guy too. I mean, I know,
Yeah.
I know that he's, at least he's not 46 in these photos, but at 42,
Yeah.
he's a younger looking guy. So
Yeah. Nice to see some media coverage on it, because when I was researching it online, I didn't find any media on it at all. He's got a name, his profile, and that's about all I found. So
that's the crazy thing. Like we show like 15 or 20 people a week, and we're not even scratching the surface of people who are missing.
I know. And a lot of them don't get media coverage. That's the sad
Mhm.
part.
This next one has received some media coverage, some podcast coverage, and we've covered
Mhm.
it quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about Megan Fogelsong.
I'm looking for her flyer in my long list of flyers I have here. There she is. She's missing from Alden, Kansas since December 2015. She was 21 when she went missing. She would now be 27. She's 5'4", 150 pounds, sandy blonde hair, green eyes. Her last activity on Facebook was November 30th, 2015, and there was an unconfirmed sighting around Christmas 2015 at Guy's Liquor Store in Larned. Again, she was 21 when she went missing. She'd now be 27. She's 5'4", weighs around 150 pounds. Her weight does fluctuate. She has sandy blonde hair that she does dye occasionally and has green eyes. She wears glasses but does have contacts. She has a tattoo on her left hip of a flower design pictured on the far right. She also has a tattoo on her left wrist with a heart design that says Thick Thin, and a tattoo on her upper right chest, both pictured above in the second photo from the right. She also has a tattoo on her outer left calf of a dream catcher. And as we all know, the main person of interest in her disappearance, Mr. Madden, he's no longer with us as he shot himself as law enforcement approached his car to take him into custody after he had shot and killed his dad. So anything he, whatever he did with her or may have done to her or allegedly done to her, he took it to the grave with him, unfortunately. Only thing we can hope for is he may have let somebody know about it, and if anybody knows about it or anybody has any information regarding it, please call the Rice County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 620-257-7876 or 620-257-2363 or KBI at 785-296-4017, and see if we can't help them find Megan and bring her home where she needs to be. I know she's still got family that's looking for her very actively and trying to generate information and everything, and just need to help her, help them find her, get her brought home.
Right. Yeah, that's a wild case, but you're right. I think a lot of the information left when he took the coward's way out.
Yeah, that was crazy. Went to his dad's house, shot his dad, and when law enforcement tried to stop him, he apparently wrecked his car in a ditch on the side of the road, and when they approached the car, they heard a gunshot ring out, and he had shot himself. So, cowardly thing to do, but it's what he did.
Right.
And I see a comment down there from Ellen Dotson asking if we can share Rochelle Hammond from Moscow, Colorado. I don't know that we've ever covered her before. That name is not clicking right away, but then again, I do so many flyers all the time, and it's hard to keep track of them all.
Right.
So
we will definitely work on that.
I'm checking my files, and I don't have her in my files. So apparently that must be one we'll have to look into and see if we can't get it on the next show.
Right.
Let's see if there's... I'm just going to peek on Google real fast.
Okay.
Just to see.
She says she's been missing since August 15th, 2019.
Yeah, but just found her listing on the Charlie Project. It's August 15, 2019. She was 30 when she went missing. She would be 33 now. 5'6", 120. Black hair, brown eyes. Let's see. It says she was last seen walking from her Moscow, Colorado home on August 15, 2019. She left all her belongings behind, including her cell phone, ID, medication, car, computer, tools, and pet dog. She's never been heard from again. She'd only been living in the area for about 3 weeks prior to her disappearance. She'd previously lived in Columbus, Ohio. She may be homeless, although police can find little evidence as to her fate. Her mother believes she did not leave of her own accord and may have been a human trafficking victim. Her case remains unsolved. She does have numerous tattoos, including the phrase "live like a lion" on her upper chest, a star behind her ear, a skull on the back of her wrist, stars on the inside of her forearm, a cat with a bong on her shoulder, and other tattoos. And what I'm looking at is showing several of them here on Charlie Project. Her hair was shoulder length at the time of her disappearance, and she is of Cherokee descent. So I will go ahead and get a flyer made after the show for her. And it looks like Alamosa County Sheriff's Office up there in Colorado would be who you would call if anybody has any information regarding her disappearance. And the number there is 719-589-6608. So I'll get a flyer made for her after the show and get that posted. And then we can actually formally show it. Her last clothing description was a black tank top, khaki shorts, black Nike shoes, and a silver barbell in her nose. So she does suffer from bipolar and schizophrenia and has been prescribed medication for her conditions, and she left that medication behind. So she could very well be living homeless somewhere. So if anybody does see Rochelle, like I said, call the Alamosa County Sheriff's Office at 719-589-6608 and see if we can't help get her located.
Yeah.
Yep, you're welcome, Ellen. And I got her notated down here in my notes too, so I don't forget. And I left the Charlie Project window up, so I have that after the show too.
Trisha says, I would like to see Stephen Battles covered again. His sister would like to get law enforcement to look into it again.
Okay. And I think, I'm trying to remember, did we ever do a flyer? I think I did a flyer for him. So I do so many, I can't remember day to day who I've done and who I haven't done. So
Right.
Oh yeah, we've done a flyer for him. Sure. Yep.
Let's talk about Dietrich Foster.
Okay.
5,000 Reasons again on this one.
Yep. I gotta find him listed in here somewhere. Oh, there you are. Yep, missing from Independence, Kansas since April 12th of 2020. He was 37 when he went missing. He's now 39. He's 5'9", 190, black hair, brown eyes. He was reported missing on May 12th. He was last seen around April 12th in Independence. KBI agents and detectives from the Independence Police Department are conducting the case as a homicide based on findings during the investigation into Foster's disappearance. If you have any information regarding Dietrich's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Independence, Kansas Police Department at 620-332-1700 or KBI at 785-296-4017. And as Derek mentioned, there's a governor's reward of $5,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of those responsible for the disappearance and suspected murder of Dietrich Foster. So let's see if we can't drum up some information and get him found and back to his family where he needs to be.
Right.
Yeah, Trisha, I do have his flyer in my files. I think Derek still has his flyer on file somewhere too, I do believe.
Right.
Should have. This was an unsolved homicide from here in Saline County back in September of 2009. Was found dead from a gunshot wound shortly after 5 p.m. on September 15, 2009 by members of his family who were checking on his welfare. His body was found in a house trailer behind the main house on his property at 9041 East Shipton Road near I-70, just west of town of Solomon in eastern Saline County. I can't talk tonight. Stephen, who had been employed as an over-the-road truck driver for Great Plains He is believed to have been killed 2 days before his body was found when he failed to show up for work on September 15th. His employer became concerned and contacted his family, who found him the same day. No other details have been released in Stephen's murder, and no arrests have been made. If anybody has any information regarding the murder of Stephen James Bettles, please call the Saline County Sheriff's Office at 785-826-6500 or Saline County Crime Stoppers at 785-825-8477 and see if we can't get some information going as to what happened to him and get his family some closure on his case, because they definitely do.
All right.
Definitely do. Okay, and Trisha saying his family are friends of hers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, by keeping his information out there, we're getting people to wanting to start talk, because they need to start talking.
Right. Let's talk about Alex Larusso.
Okay. Okay, he's missing from here in Salina, Kansas since December 8th of 2017. He's 25 when he went missing. He would be 29 now. He's 6'2", 175 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. And last contact he had with family was about 4 o'clock in the morning on December 8th. He is wheelchair bound and his left leg is amputated above the knee. And we do know that his vehicle was found abandoned in the northeastern part of the county. His wheelchair was inside, as well as his clothes and other items were in there. Again, at the time of his disappearance, he was 25. He'd now be 29. He's 6'2", weighs 175 pounds. He's black hair and brown eyes. He has a tattoo on the left side of his neck that says pain. If you have any information regarding Alex's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210 or call Crime Stoppers at 785-825-8477. Or you can text SA TIPS to 274-637 or visit www.pd.salina.org and follow the Crime Stoppers link to submit a web tip. You may receive a cash reward up to $1,000, and you're not required to give your name, or you can call KBI at 785-296-4017 and let them know the information that you have as well, and see if we can't get information drummed up about what happened to Alex, get him back to his family as well. Just definitely need to.
Yeah, that's just wild. Just everything's gone.
Yeah.
They just find all of his belongings in his car, and he's missing.
Yeah.
Definitely sketchy.
Definitely.
Now, this next case that we're going to cover, we haven't talked about it in a while.
Yeah.
But we're kind of putting together. You're going to see a lot of cases tonight that we've covered in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And we're kind of referring to them as cold cases just because they're cases that there are people that are still missing. We just haven't heard very many updates.
Right.
So we're going to spend this next couple weeks here refreshing everybody's memory in a couple different ways on who these people are and why they're missing. But this is 12-year-old Ryan Larson, and I've been really worried about Ryan since he went missing back in May. Let's remind everybody about Ryan.
Okay. Now I pulled this comment up because Chris Detter had tagged Kelly Sanford, and then I saw Kelly down here said, "Found it, Chris. Thanks." So yeah, Chris, thanks for tagging Kelly, and Kelly, thank you for joining us. Greatly appreciate it. And I got to find him. Where are you at? Okay, Ryan Larson. He's missing from La Vista, Nebraska since May 17th of 2021. He was 11 when he went missing. He's now 12. He's 5'8", 125, brown hair and hazel eyes. He walked out of La Vista Elementary School, located at 78th and Terry Drive in La Vista, about Monday noon that day. And the last confirmed sighting of Ryan was at 2 o'clock on Monday, which I think since then there was another sighting they were able to pull up on surveillance video, I do believe. He's autistic, considered high functioning. And prior to his disappearance, Ryan had done searches regarding hiding from the police, hiding underground, and how to avoid being spotted. Again, he was 11 when he went missing. He's now 12. He's 5'8", weighs 125, has brown hair and hazel eyes. He was last known to be wearing a black jacket pictured far right, blue jeans, and an old navy shirt, and had a polka dotted umbrella, which has since been located. He did have his backpack, but it's unknown if it had any supplies in it or just books and normal school supplies in it. I do believe the backpack had also, I don't know if the backpack been located or not. I can't remember. Might have been. But the latest information that I saw when I was researching last night on Ryan was law enforcement is now considering foul play in his disappearance. Initially, they were not, but they said since it's been 6 months, now they're looking at it. So, as a possibility, which is sad to hear, actually, but hopefully it's not the case. And police are asking that if you do see Ryan, do not approach him. Instead, follow him at a safe distance and call 911 immediately, or call the La Vista, Nebraska Police Department at 402-331-1582. And again, the two pictures on the far right-hand side are what he was wearing when he went missing. It's the same jacket in both pictures. Apparently, the lighting is just different. It makes the hood part of the hoodie look orangish instead of red, but it's the same hoodie.
Okay.
But that's what he was wearing when he went missing right there. So, but I know they said they did find the umbrella. It was next to a dumpster, and initially they thought maybe he climbed in a dumpster and the trash took him away, but I think they said they were able to determine that was where they saw their surveillance, was right around the dumpster area. And at the time he was spotted on surveillance would have been after the trash would have been dumped. So, So, yeah, that was what that was. But, yeah, then they found the umbrella. They swabbed it for DNA, and they said they found his DNA on the umbrella. They didn't disclose what type of DNA, just DNA. But like I said, now they are considering foul play as a possibility in his disappearance. They didn't want to go that avenue, but since it's been 6 months, they're not going to rule that out now. So,
Jeez.
Again, if anybody sees him, don't approach him. Just call 911 or call the Vista, Nebraska Police Department at 402-331-1582 and see, hopefully they can find him. Hopefully he's still okay. I know there was some concern because he didn't apparently take his medication with him either, and it's required medication, and they don't feel like he could have made it very long without it. So I don't know what this medication was for or anything, but they just felt like he wouldn't make it very long without that medication. So let's hope for the best. Scary.
Yeah. It's real sad, man.
Yeah.
We'll be right back after this. We're going to cover some more cases. You're watching Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast.
Yeah.
If you or someone you know is thinking of running from home, has run away, or if you are a runaway ready to go back home, call 1-800-RUNAWAY. That's 1-800-786-2929.
Okay, we're going to talk about Rachel Pratt here. A second here.
It's crazy. Whenever people are older than me, it's hard for me to see them as younger than me. So Rachel Pratt, like when her pictures there on the one on the left, the two pictures on the left, the one on the left, she kind of looks, I don't know, she doesn't look like a 15-year-old kid to me, but like my niece is 15, so it's like it's like, because I know Rachel's friends, and Rachel's friends are like, in their age, like 42 around there, and I'm 38, so they're older than me,
right?
But it's just crazy to think that Rachel like was my niece's age and she's never been seen again,
right?
I mean, it's just she was a kid.
Yeah.
I associate her with, I probably think of Rachel more as the girl on the far right because I know her friends. That's who I know about Rachel, because the people that talk about her and miss her, they're 42 now, But yeah,
right.
this was a very long time ago.
Yep, she's missing from Garden City, Kansas since January 16th of 95. She was 15 when she went missing. She'd be 42 now. She's 5'7", 125 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. She was last seen watching a movie inside her family's residence in Garden City. At approximately 1 a.m. on January 16th of 95, she disappeared under suspicious circumstances and has never been heard from again. She left all of her clothing and personal belongings at her home except for her coat. 5 days after her disappearance, some girls claimed to have seen her talking on a payphone with her 18-year-old boyfriend. They say she left the phone with her boyfriend after asking the girls for a ride. She then went to Dylan's grocery store. The sighting has not been confirmed, and her boyfriend denies having been with her after she vanished. Rachel was supposed to be a witness against her boyfriend, who's been was being prosecuted for unlawful sexual relations with her because she disappeared before she could testify. The charges were dropped. They started dating when Rachel was 14, and she was a freshman, and he was a senior. He was her first boyfriend. Rachel's mother found out she was pregnant after Rachel was arrested for attempting to shoplift a home pregnancy test from Walmart. She gave her statement to the police at the time. There's no evidence to indicate that Rachel has ever given birth. There's also no record of her receiving a driver's license, a copy of her birth certificate, or a social security card. She may have remained in Garden City after her disappearance. There have been no sightings of her in many years, but authorities remain hopeful that she's still alive. Rachel has 7 siblings. Her mother still lives at the same address and has kept the same phone number. If anybody has any information regarding Rachel's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Garden City Police Department at 620-276-1300 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get some information generated on what happened to Rachel and where she may be, so her loved ones knows where she's at and what's going on.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was. Definitely.
How sad.
Yeah.
You know, I talked to I wouldn't say too much of what I heard. But I did talk to a retired Garden City police officer.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple of theories that float around Garden City. Most of them are pretty juicy in the sense that if they're true, like they're gonna have to write a book about it. It's so twisted, you know.
Yeah.
But I talked to the cop and I was like, you know, because you always wonder, you like, is there like, are they trying not to solve this? And his basic words to me was, he was like, you're crazy if you think any detective or cop in Garden City, Kansas doesn't want to find Rachel Pratt. He's like, that would be like the biggest win for the department. He said every theory, every scenario has been played out hundreds and hundreds of times by detectives over the last 25, 30 years. And he said it's just a very gigantic mystery. Nobody knows somebody knows what happened to Rachel, but that is something that Garden City Police have just not been able to get anywhere on. And again, it's because, you know, nobody talks. I mean, anybody that knows what happened to Rachel, if she didn't leave on her own accord and somebody did something to her, I mean, I don't know why they would ever say anything, but I don't know. It's
crazy.
Long time ago, a lot of time gone by, and she should be in her 40s with kids, maybe even grandkids at this point, you know.
Right.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, it is.
This was one that we brought him tonight. Let's talk about Skylar Ratzlef.
Okay.
Out in Andover, Kansas.
All right. He's missing from Andover since yesterday. He's 18 years old. He's 6 foot tall, 240, brown hair and hazel eyes. It's believed he may still be in the local Andover area, or he may be in the Wichita or Arkansas City, Kansas area. If you have any information regarding Skylar's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Andover, Kansas Police Department at 316-733-5177 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't help get him located and back to where he needs to be.
Right.
We've covered him in the past. He's a multiple runner, I guess you would say.
Okay.
Unfortunately. Well, I just noticed this from Ellen up here. She's saying that Rochelle Hammond's mom asked if she would ask her to have us talk about her tonight.
Okay.
Okay, good deal. I'll get an actual flyer made for her tonight after the show.
Right, yeah. We're going to go right back to the same part of the country. This is just, 30 minutes down the road here, Lakin, Kansas. Stephanie Welch.
Yeah.
About 6 years after Rachel Pratt goes missing, she goes missing. But yeah, go ahead and tell us about Stephanie.
Yeah, she's missing from Lakin, Kansas since February 28th of 2001. She was 23 when she went missing. She would be 44 now. She's 5'8", weighs 190 pounds. She has brown hair and brown eyes. She dropped off her youngest son off at his daycare in Lincoln at approximately 9:15 in the morning on February 28th of 2001. Earlier, she dropped off her older child off at preschool. Authorities believe she drove back to the mobile home she was preparing to vacate shortly afterwards. Stephanie may have returned to the property to remove some of her and her children's personal belongings. She's never been heard from again. Stephanie was engaged to Roy Moore in early 2001 and was planning to move out of her mobile home and into his house. She was driving his silver 1990 Mazda 626 at the time of her disappearance. Moore's vehicle was discovered abandoned in the private driveway of a mobile home park in southeast Lakin at approximately 11 in the morning. Witnesses said that an unidentified man dressed in black walked away from the car shortly afterwards. Authorities do not believe Stephanie knew anyone inside that park and theorize that someone else drove Moore's car to the location. Her jacket and her wallet, which contained $500, were discovered on the front seat of the vehicle. The wheel wells were covered in snow and mud, and someone drove the car for miles before parking it in the driveway. Moore picked up Stephanie's son from the daycare after she failed to return by 6 p.m. He learned that his vehicle had been abandoned earlier in the day after reporting Stephanie's disappearance later during the evening. An extensive search of the area produced no clues as to Stephanie's whereabouts. Investigators believe she may have been murdered between the time she dropped off her son and the time Moore's vehicle was discovered. Authorities said that her remains could have been hidden in numerous locations. Several abandoned wells are scattered throughout the area. The man who was seen leaving her car is considered the prime suspect in her disappearance. If you have any information regarding Stephanie's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Kearney County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 620-355-6211 or the KBI at 800-572-7463. Or you can do the 785-296-4017 as well. And see if we can't help find out what happened to Stephanie and get her found and brought home.
Jeez.
Crazy stuff.
I mean, we only have what the information that's on the flyers, but it just makes me want to just know. Maybe I should be a cop because I just have so many questions, and I'm sure they've all been asked. But like, it just makes me. I'm just like, wait a sec. Let's start from the beginning. Where were you? Where did you? I mean, it's just, and the thing that's really, to me, that leaves the mark that this was a really bad situation was the fact that her car, the car she was in was left abandoned and there was money left there.
Right.
So like that kind of, if this was a robbery gone bad, that robbery turned kidnapping or something, like, I mean, they're a bad robber. They left the money on the it makes me think that somebody that knew her and kind of like, I don't know, just maybe, I don't know. It's just very scary. And that's what's crazy is I was living in Garden City around that time. I don't remember this at all. This is like before social media.
Yeah. What I'm curious about is it says she was moving from one place into another place with her new boyfriend.
Right.
Was there an old boyfriend or whatever associated with her kids that may have had some animosity toward her or something, or one of those situations where, well, if I can't have you, nobody can,
right,
kind of thing. I mean, I don't know. I'm just guessing, but
yeah. Wow. Well, I she obviously has a child out there that's at least 20. So my heart goes out to Stephanie's child, however many she had, and and I think it's a travesty that it's been this long since this happened. Then wow.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Savannah Scott. We talked about her a couple weeks ago, but she is still as so far as we know, still listed as missing.
Yeah, I haven't been given any updates on her as far as being located, but she's been missing since December 5th, so 11 days ago. of this year. She's 16. She's 5'3", 130 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. If anybody has any information regarding Savannah's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or 316-660-9452 or 316-263-6011 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't help get her found and back to where she needs to be. I know this is the second flyer for her that I've made. Yeah. Last one I made was back in January. So.
Oh wow!
Which I never even got the update that she had been located when I got the request to do this flyer. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
and just to let the audience know what our process is, when you find out somebody's missing, how do you typically find out if they're located?
Well, a lot of the ones I get specific requests to make the flyers for, whether it be from family or law enforcement or other entities, and they usually will let me know when they're found, so I can update. But other than that, I have to actually, if I don't get updates that way, I have to physically call and try to get the information from law enforcement myself, which in some instances is okay. In other instances, it's a little more difficult depending on the law enforcement agency.
I called for some flyers we had last Friday, 2 Fridays ago.
Mm-hmm.
I got up and I was calling old flyers just to see if anybody was, found or missing. And I got about 50% of the people that said that they would talk to me. But then 15 people were like, who are you? And I was like, oh, we're with, Kansas Missing and Unsolved. And they're just like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I can't help you. I don't know how to help you. So it's like there's a problem here in this state with a record of people that are missing, if they're still missing, if they've been found and stuff. So that's something we're working on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Amara Jones.
Well, the thing of it is, we've been doing this show for 2 years. I've been doing the page for nearly 10 years. You would think they would know me well enough by now where it wouldn't be a problem, but I guess it is what it is. Let's see, Amara Jones. I'm trying to find him on my list here. There he is. He's missing from Independence, Missouri since December 4th of 2021. He's 18. He's 5'10", 150 pounds. He has short black hair and brown eyes. Let's see, he went to this concert. It was actually the last week of November because the concert was actually in November, on November 28th. He did make it home. And then on December 4th, he was picked up by an unknown person, and he hasn't been seen or heard from since that time. He is a student at an area Raytown High School, and he hadn't shown up at school since then either. If anybody has any information regarding Amara's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department's Missing Persons Unit at 816-234-5136 or 816-234-5111, or you can call the Missouri State Highway Patrol Missing Persons Unit at 573-526-6178, and they have a toll-free number, 866-362-6422 as well. Let's see if we can help find Amara and get him brought home. So I've been talking to, I believe it was his mom, actually. It was the one that contacted me about doing his flyer.
Wow, that does sound sketchy. So all they know is unknown person picked him up.
Yeah. I would assume it was a friend, but you never know.
I mean, there has to be a way of knowing who unknown person was. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Verizon and AT&T, maybe they don't just hand over all that information as soon as somebody goes missing. But I mean, I'm pretty sure if there's the NSA or whoever, if they know how to the whole being spying on us.
Yeah.
If I'm spyable, if anything happens to me, and if it's a random thing, then good luck. But if it's somebody that I know, there's probably going to be record of it, of me arguing. There's probably going to be some record of Amara talking to somebody saying, "Hey, let's go do something." To me, it just blows my mind that it's how did how did Amara, an unknown person, come pick him up? Like, how do we know they picked him up? But again, maybe they're just not. Maybe they're just not. Doing that. Maybe they're just not sharing as much details as they have. But it just sounds like, okay, well, you say was picked up by unnamed person, but why even mention it? You have to know who that is. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I just feel like they would have to know who that person is.
Yeah, definitely. And Ellen's asking us if we could cover Dana Bruce again next week.
Yeah,
Yes, we
for
can.
sure.
Definitely can.
Let's talk about Cheyenne.
Okay. She is missing from Kansas City, Kansas since November 29th of 2021. She's 18. She's 5'1", 200 pounds. She has red or auburn hair and is currently dyed black and blue. She does change her hair color frequently, and it is cut short right now as well. But if anybody has any information regarding Cheyenne's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-596-3000 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can get her found and back to where she needs to be.
Right. Excuse me.
And hopefully we can.
I like her hair.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the. My brother is saying looks dyed red orange to me. Well, that's the photos they sent, but the information they said was dyed black and blue. So.
Oh, okay.
And she
Probably
does
just an old photo.
Yeah, and she does change it frequently. So.
Yeah, I just think that's a cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of a trip, like one side's one color, the other side's the other. It's a really cool hairstyle, but yeah. I know you're 18, Cheyenne, but you should, if you see this, let somebody know you're okay. I mean, maybe you don't want to go back to where you were, but maybe you should call somebody, let them know you're safe. People worried about you, but obviously you're 18, and just make good choices and welcome to the world. And the sky's the limit. You just make some good choices. But first things first, let somebody know where you're at.
Yeah. Yep, definitely.
We got a couple more here for you. Then we got a located safe for you. We got Iona Clark, 14. That's just too young.
Yeah, she's missing from Topeka, Kansas since November 27th of 2021. She is 14. She's 5'3", 190 pounds. She has black hair that's dyed red and brown eyes. It's believed she's still in the local Topeka area. If anybody has any information regarding Iona's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department at 785-368-9247 or 785-368-9551 or 785-368-9200 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't help get Iona found and back to where she needs to be. I know there's people looking for her and worried about her. Like we said in the past, it's pretty obvious that once it reaches me that there's people that are concerned enough to want them found.
And it's Topeka. We see that. We see Wichita. We see Topeka.
Yeah.
These are cities where it's not uncommon for somebody around this age to be unaccounted for, and that's just
right.
I'd hope to think that they're safe and they're with somebody they trust, even though that's not anywhere near, gonna cut it as far as the people that are looking for them. Yeah. I hope these people are smart enough to protect themselves and be around safe people. But I got to tell you, at 14 years old, it's just a dangerous age. It's and anybody that knows that you're unaccounted for and that you have a case number, and they're allowing you to and they're hiding you essentially like that. They just can't be a great person.
Right.
And I mean, and I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, I just feel like 14. You should call somebody, let them know you're safe, and
That's definitely.
yeah. I mean, it's just
And even if and we've talked about this in the past, and I'm sure we'll talk about it more in the future too. But and we always talk about law enforcement, and a lot of times, and I'm not knocking law enforcement. I have the utmost respect for them, but a lot of times they view these kids as they're just a runaway, and I don't know. I think that they shouldn't just view them as just a runaway. They need to, investigate. I think they need to investigate it backwards. Start from the worst case scenario and work to the better scenarios. Until they can prove otherwise. Because I've seen cases, not necessarily here in Kansas, but I've seen cases to where they say, "Oh, it's just a runaway," and then they find the person murdered. So I mean.
yeah.
I mean, even if they are a runaway, I mean, did they run away on their own? Were they talking to somebody online that coaxed them into running? I mean, those are the kind of things that really need to be looked at before they say, "Oh, they just ran away."
Yeah.
That really bothers me when they think like that. It really does. Because even if they did run away, like I say, I mean, is it their own doing? Were they talking to somebody online that said, "Hey, I'll take care of you if you come to me," or whatever? Just like I was reading about this guy in Indiana that they're trying to see if he's tied into the Delphi murders or not. He'd been getting on like Instagram and messaging girls on there that are underage, and he would start talking to him. And he says, "Okay, let's switch our conversation over to Snapchat," because he knew that over there it's not saved. It can still be retrieved by Snapchat.
But I was gonna say, but it is saved. I just don't understand how people operate. Like, first and foremost, like, how does anybody feel like they're not being watched at all times? Like, I don't know if it's just me, but if I even think about needing a new pair of khakis, that's all I see on my ads. It's just, I would never try to break the law because I would just feel like they were just watching me do it. And that's the thing. And you have these things where people go missing. I just don't see how technology has caught up to the point, like what you're talking about. And I want you to talk about that. They have video footage of her they're walking down like a bridge, and then I want you to say what happens. But to me, I'm just like, how do they not have why can't they CSI that, call like NASA and be like, okay, well, whose cell phone was next to those two girls that day? And they'll be like, oh, it was this cell phone. I just can't see how. But anyway, talk about this, because this is why I just don't understand how this guy got away with so much stuff for so long, when I know that everybody is probably being watched by the government. I just don't understand how things go on so long. But anyway, tell me about it.
Yeah, I mean, Liberty German and Abby, they were up on that Monon High Bridge in Indiana, and they were taking pictures and video, and this guy was approaching him on the bridge, and Liberty had presence of mind to turn on the phone and got that video clip of him walking on the bridge, and then there's an audio clip of him saying, "Guys, down the hill," and they've tried to stabilize that video to get a better shot of the guy and stuff. And then, of course, they put out the first sketch with the guy with the hat and everything. And I can't remember how much time it went by when they said, "Well, we're changing directions." Then they produced a second sketch and said, "This is actually the sketch we're going by now, not the first one. Disregard the first one. Go by this one." So, and now they're looking at this guy that was approaching these young girls on Instagram under a fake account, using pictures of a known model who is also an Alaska police officer. He had no idea it was being done. His photos were being used in that manner. He was also using photos of like really expensive cars, like Ferraris, Lamborghinis, that kind of thing, trying to come off like he was wealthy and stuff. And he would tell me, so, "Hey, let's switch our," he'd start talking to him on Instagram, say, "Okay, let's switch our conversations to Snapchat," thinking that because Snapchat doesn't save things when you're on the app, but they do save it in the background. Right. So they're not gone, even though you think they're gone. They're not gone. But
I don't see how anybody why would anybody say that? I mean, and again, but again, at the same time, these two girls were murdered. Well, they found their bodies, right? Like, these two girls were murdered, and we haven't solved it. I mean, to me, like maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I just feel like that would be so easy to solve. Like just match up what cell phones we're connecting right there. You know?
Yeah, and the fake account was under the name Anthony Schatz, and they come out. Indiana State Police come out with a video a few nights back asking for information relating to the Anthony Schatz profile. If anybody, there you go, asking if anybody had interacted with him in any way, what the conversations consisted of, were they asked to meet, did he ask for pictures, phone numbers, because he was asking for explicit photos, and he did have explicit photos and videos on his phone of some of these young girls that he was talking to. And the guy's name is actually Keegan Anthony Klein, and he's currently sitting in jail, and he has been since last year on 30 counts ranging from exploitation of a child to possession of child porn to identity theft and all this other, just total of 30 charges. So he's not going anywhere. They've searched countless phones that he's had and found videos and photos. They were saying that he was getting a hold of girls on Instagram anywhere from 14 to 17 years old, but he had videos and photos of females ranging from 3 years old all the way up to 17 and stuff like that. And they're, like I said, they're trying to see if he ties into the Delphi murders in any way, shape, or form. So,
Hey, Brandon, not if I can bring you up, because I wanted to get your opinion on this, Brandon. Because okay, this is my only thing is, to me, that guy up top there, the picture on the right, maybe he looks like a bigger guy, but I just don't see how we're getting that to that.
Yeah.
Just depends on the time lapse in between, when was this photo taken as opposed to the other photo. I mean, people can gain weight pretty quick, but depending on that time gap, I don't see it either.
Right.
It just...
To me, this looks like, if I had to get, and again, I don't know anything. This is actually the first time I've ever looked at these videos. If I had to look at this, I'm pegging this person at, like, if I just, I don't know, 45 years old at least.
Yeah.
And here's a picture of a younger version of Anthony Klein next to the second sketch.
I see that, but I mean, he's still
even that
pretty
guy
big.
On the left doesn't look to me like it would be that guy on the bridge.
Yeah. But see, he looks like the second sketch that came out with later and said, "This is what we're going by now. We changed direction. We're going with this sketch now." And I'm even seeing information now to where they actually had the second sketch done before the first one, before the alleged first one. This one was actually done before.
But I mean, if I had to trust, like, are we looking for this drawing or for this video of this person? I don't think that video looks like this drawing. I can't see. I'll give you this. I can't see the face at all. No. I just feel like, to me, it looks like somebody who's in their late 40s, if not older, and maybe kind of rough looking. Maybe bad choices. I don't know. I think this guy's definitely gross, and we should probably just go ahead and put him in jail forever. But I don't know. To me, this right here, just it's really haunting to look at, to tell you the truth. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't know if I see it.
I don't know. It's real hard to say that because you can't see his face. I mean, between I don't know if it's a hat or a hoodie. I mean, everybody's assuming it's a hat.
How long ago did Abby and
the fact that he's looking down because of the way that bridge is built and the spacing between the boards, he's looking down to make sure he's walking, not going to fall through, because that's quite a drop. You fall off that thing, you're not going to survive that fall. I've seen aerials of that bridge. It is way the heck up there.
So it was 2017 when Abby and Libby were killed. So I mean, it's a possibility.
And the kicker of it was Anthony Schatz. And I've seen this information. I was watching a YouTube channel called True Crime Investigates, and he is deep dove into the Delphi murders big time because he lives in Indiana. And he's managed to show or find information, on Liberty's Instagram, where Anthony Schatz actually clicked like on one of Liberty's photos.
Wow.
50 days before those murders happened. And he looked at both of their Instagrams. This guy did on True Crime Investigates, and they're both set up as private accounts to where when you click follow, the person that has that account has to approve you. So you can't see anything on that account until they approve you. And apparently, he disclosed, this guy on True Crime Investigates, he disclosed on one of his shows the other night that he has a child with a family member of, I believe it's Liberty's. And so he got a hold of that. You know, that's how he saw the profiles, was apparently this family member that he's got a child with. They were able to look at their accounts that way. So
in that scenario, the girls would have one of the girls would have known this guy.
it's possible they at the very least interacted. I mean, it's not known
Or
for
he
sure.
was
But
just stalking them,
yeah. So I mean,
trying to
I
get
don't
them
know.
to look at his fake profile when he clicks like.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, I'm just thinking.
yeah. I mean, it's not looking good for him either way.
Well,
I mean,
all I know is this: two things. One, this
yeah.
terrifies me. This
Trisha brings up a good point here. Lawyers fight for suspects' rights, but not for the victims' rights.
Yeah.
That's true. It seems like the suspects and perpetrators have more rights than the victims do.
Yeah.
That's true. And I hate to admit this, but I have two cousins, one in Texas, one in Florida. They're both defense attorneys.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, let's knock out these last two cases real quick, and then we are gonna play a located safe, and then get out of here. Talk to Brandon for a minute. Tell us about Zack Pierce real quick.
Okay.
Unsolved murder.
It's actually it's an unsolved homicide from December 13th of 2017. Zack Pierce was murdered in cold blood. He and a friend were walking home from Westport. They were heading to Zack's apartment. A car followed them, and two people jumped out near 40th and Walnut. That's where Zack was shot and killed. The suspects took off in a blue 2000 Jeep Liberty with a giant cargo on top and Colorado license plates. It was stolen from a home prior to the shooting. Police say this was not a typical robbery. Everything the suspects stole ended up being thrown onto the nearby street shortly after Zack was killed. Fingerprints did not turn up and match, which means the criminals are not in the system. But if that changes in the future, they could get a hit. Police theorize that the people involved were young juveniles. They say because of the way the crime happened, the shooting may have been accidental. They say that the juveniles may not have known how to use the gun and accidentally fired, or they may have fired the gun out of panic because they were so young. To date, the Jeep Liberty has never been located. Police say it's not uncommon for stolen vehicles to be crushed, dumped in rivers, or even burned. If you have any information regarding Zack's death, please call the Kansas City Area Crime Stoppers at 816-474-8477. Information that leads to an arrest and or filing of charges could be eligible for up to a $25,500 reward, and all information is anonymous.
See, I'm with you here, Derek. They have a vehicle, and they have two suspects, right? They're in 2017, they should be able to geotag or geolocate what cell phones were around, trace the registrations to people whose cell phones they own, whose cell phone owned it, you know, who owns the cell phone for vehicles, and be able to find these people. I just don't think it's that hard to think about.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're thinking about it now, it's had to have been thought about. It has to be possible. It also could come down to resources available too.
I'm sure it has a lot to do with that, but also it has to be with legalities and stuff. Like, this is the thing. Like, I think we learned with, you know, Edward Snowden and all that, is that they do have the NSA, the government. They can watch what you're doing. Basically, essentially, they can do that stuff. The question, I think, where the problem is I don't think it's legal really. For I don't know. I think it's a gray area. I think that I don't know. I just think, like, you're right, Brandon. Like, to me, I'm just like, if I just worked at Verizon, I could probably solve a murder. I think I'm like, well, who was there? Like, oh, well, who's our eyewitnesses? I'm like, no, whose cell phones were there? Let's just look up burner phones. Yeah,
burner phones.
But I mean, honestly, though, with Zack, though, this just honestly feels like, and the flyer kind of hints at it. This crime right here is a messy crime. I don't think this was a meditate. I think this
Premeditated,
was just maybe a dare gone wrong, or maybe somebody maybe they were, trying to, maybe somebody dared them to steal a car. Or I think Zack Pierce is a victim of just a senseless crime that probably had to do with, somebody showing off, but I mean, yeah, I just feel like I don't understand how we can't just look up stuff like that. But I mean, anybody has information out there, 816-474-8477. And well, and the one thing that's also crazy though is, and it also, if it is just a couple of kids that are just like, oh, I dare you to steal a car, and then something went crazy wrong, I kind of don't see them disposing of a vehicle without a trace. So that seems a little professional.
Yeah, and the car's never been found, and like police say, it could have either been burned, crushed, put in a river. It's hard to say.
Well, there's divers, you see them on TikTok all the time now.
Oh yeah.
They're going down, and just recreational divers are going down and finding all these vehicles, and they're solving unsolved murders and
missing persons
cases.
Yeah. Adventures with Purpose and Exploring with Nug, Depths of History. They've all, Adventures with Purpose. They're known for looking specifically for vehicles, but like Exploring with Nug and Depths of History, they're getting into looking when they're down there in the rivers and stuff.
See, the idea of that sounds really cool and fun and intriguing to me to go and do. But then the whole thing of finding a phone, or not a phone, but a car, and then maybe somebody inside of it, just terrifies me too much to even want to try and do that.
I'm glad there's people out there that do it.
Yeah, me too. I'm really happy there's people out there that can handle that.
What are Chaos Divers? Is that another diving organization and another set of divers? Oh wait, I think I have heard of that. I think I've seen that on YouTube. Now that you say that, Trisha, Chaos Divers, yeah.
Sabruggy Squared says accidental. Not sure I buy that.
One of his nicknames is actually T Squared.
I think I like that. T Squared.
Yeah.
Double Trouble is what I call him. Yeah. Hey, I'm glad you showed up, Sabruggy. his team's playing.
She said, yes, Jacob Grubbs. I'm not sure I'm familiar with them. I'll have to look up their YouTube channel and check them out.
Hey, Ricky, tell us about Zachariah again real quick. And I want to show everybody Brandon's located safe video before we get out of here.
Okay. He's missing from Bixby, Oklahoma since December 1st of 2021. He's 15. He's 5'9", 165. He has brown hair and hazel eyes. He may still be in the local Bixby area, or he may travel to Kansas, and he may be in need of medical attention. And he's 15. He's 5'9", weighs 165. He has brown hair and hazel eyes, and he does have braces on his teeth. If you have any information regarding Zachary's disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call the Bixby, Oklahoma Police Department at 918-366-8294, or the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 800-843-5678, and see if we can help get Zachary found and back to where he needs to be. Definitely, for sure.
And all these flyers that you saw tonight on tonight's show they are all on our Facebook page. And we would appreciate if you would share those with your friends and the world. And we want to show you some of the people that luckily everybody was able to help bring home this week. So this is a Located Safe video by Brandon Smith. We'll be right back after this.
Leaving an abusive relationship is a highly personal, individual decision, but all survivors benefit from having trusted people during this time. Since those experiencing abuse are often isolated by their abusers, it's important to know how you can support survivors on their path to finding safety. If you or someone you know is a victim of domestic violence, please reach out to the hotline at 1-800-799-7233. Again, that's 1-800-799-7233.
And we're back.
Okay. I kept getting ready to say something. Another video.
No, I wasn't going to let you have that. I was going to keep going. If I had more videos, I'd keep playing videos. This is the 14 people that are here. I am really I'm not surprised at all. As soon as you told me about 3 minutes before we went live, Ricky's like, "Oh yeah, my brother said he's going to watch the show tonight and try to watch the Chiefs game." I was like, "Oh, we are not going to have our crowd here that we usually have, our roaring Kansas crowd we usually have each week." But no, I had a good time tonight, man.
Yeah, good show.
Yeah, it was a good show. Thank everybody for being here that was with us tonight and hanging with us and going through cases with us. So
and
to have that turnout.
We are going to probably get some presence on on TikTok soon. Brandon's going to be doing some really cool pre-record showcases for us on some of these older cases that we were covering tonight, and there's a ton more. I still got like 10 more flyers to make to get over to him.
Yeah, I got a lot to do.
Yeah, there's a lot going on
to keep me busy.
But yeah, we're gonna work on that, and we want to, because and if you notice, we didn't cover Alexander Perez tonight, and we will share his flyer tonight on the page. It's not that we just realized that I was editing the podcast, and I was realizing that there's probably 200 or 300 people that listen to each show we put out, and I was realizing that they were hearing the same 40 minutes of the first show, not 40, about 25 minutes. So we're gonna handle that different way, and we're gonna attack these colder cases on social media in different ways. So we're gonna work on that. But Ricky, I guess I gotta since I have you here now, next week would be the 21st.
Yeah.
Are we gonna try to do I am available. I understand. Do we want to try to do a holiday Christmas week show?
Yeah, I'm all for it. I'm gonna double check my schedule and make sure they haven't jostled it up a little bit, because
you're in retail. You might run.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if they had you on Thursday night, or if we could do it on Thursday night next week.
I'm off Tuesday.
All right. Well, we can do
Thursday. Unfortunately, I'm doing a noon to close, so
just do it. You can call in from your phone. That'll be fine.
Actually, off Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday next week. Because Saturday's Christmas, obviously, but they gave me the extra day off to compensate for the holiday pay, I guess.
You could be like Ricky Trebuggy, longtime host, first time caller. That was a good joke, guys.
I'm not a person that likes to call into work unless I absolutely.
Boy, tell you what.
Yeah, I'm not.
Well,
the
Ricky,
person that likes to call in unless I absolutely have to.
No, and I like working for a company that gives you PTO, so you don't have to. Yeah. Like I found out I'm getting the 26th off, and just because I had PTO and I took it, I was like, I'm going to take that day off.
I got
a 3-day weekend.
I've got the whole week after Christmas off, all the way up into the new year.
No, wow.
Plus the day after, so I'll get like 10 or 12 days off coming up, and I'm like, sweet. I cannot get here fast enough.
That is
you're
awesome.
Very welcome, Diana. And
my 3 days,
I
was kind of.
Donda says, "Awesome job as always to all three of you."
Donda, did you say that you had relation in Elkhart, or did she say she used to live in Elkhart?
I think, but don't quote me on that.
You should join if you have relation from Elkhart, you should join the Facebook page. I used to live in Elkhart, Kansas. It's a hoot. We have a great time over there, all of us, former and current. And if future Elkhart residents over there have fun.
Looks like the Chiefs Chargers game's fixing to go into overtime.
Oh my god.
Maybe. I say that, and then the Chargers apparently just did something because they're down on Kansas City's 28 now with 17 ticks on the clock to go.
Oh gosh.
So they
See,
may try to pull out a field goal at the end.
you can't do that. I found out you can't talk about that on the live stream because right now my parents are watching that game, but my parents are 25 minutes behind you.
Oops.
Because they refuse to watch commercials. So they save up. They don't watch for an hour and a half.
My bad.
And then they watch it and they fast forward through every commercial. And so if my mom's watching the show, you've just ruined her night, Ricky.
I'm sorry. Tell her not
She
to
just
beat me
threw
with
the
a stick.
phone. Oh, flip. She's like, there we go. Turn it off, boys. Actually, she'd probably
Tell her don't beat me with a stick.
We'll be looking for new sponsors.
Yeah. How dare my family,
We're
make the
trying to
world
get,
wait 30 minutes for them.
We're actually looking for sponsors. So if anybody has a business out there that would like to sponsor us, let us know.
Yeah, for sure. Go to you can go to backhomemedia.com. There's some contact information there.
Yeah.
And yeah, we are
We got some
shopping.
stuff in the works, but we haven't heard anything yet. So
Haven't
but
heard
we'll talk
anything
to
yet.
anybody that has a business that may want to sponsor us. So just let us know. Because that would be fantastic.
Well, we can get Ricky a new computer.
Yeah. Am I being glitchy or anything tonight?
No,
mic
you're
looks
good.
fine.
You're good. It's
Yeah.
been good tonight. Yeah.
I was worried because yesterday with that windstorm, I lost power twice and it messed up my Wi-Fi a little bit, and it took me a while to get it back on track again. And I was like, "Oh no!" Hopefully, it'll be okay for tomorrow.
I don't think I can. Well, Back Home Media is pretty tight right now, but I don't know if I can get you a new computer, but I think I can swing a new calendar next month, Ricky.
Oh, I've already got your calendar sitting right here. on my
Yeah,
desk.
you're behind, Derek. He's already got it.
Yeah, but you don't have my calendar that I put out. I have a swimsuit calendar I put out.
Oh yeah, that one
for
that
charity.
Oh my God,
that's the one that we did that photo shoot last time I was at your spot, right? Yeah,
it's a little risque, Ricky.
Little risque.
I get the freebies at the bank.
The bank ones.
Yeah.
But see, that's a sponsor, man. If anybody knows a calendar company that wants to feature their calendar for a whole year on Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast, Ricky will do it. I've seen him do it. It's right there.
Do what?
That yellow car got 4 shows.
Yeah,
it's gonna get 4 shows.
Well, it says December, so it's on the right month.
No, I know. Well, this time you've been a month behind for. Anyway, guys, this is fun. But Ricky, you know what? Actually, yeah, we never. You didn't do your. Do you want to do your prayer now, man? You didn't never do it tonight.
Yeah, we didn't do it at the beginning of the show like we were talking about doing, but yeah, we can do it at the end.
All right, go ahead, man, and I'll do the outro.
Yeah, thank you, Lord, for bringing us together tonight to go through these cases and help these families find answers to their missing persons and unsolved homicide cases, and pray that these fall on the right ears and the right hearts, and they bring the information forward to bring these people home and solve these cases. And we pray these things in your name, Heavenly Father. Amen.
Amen. I'll see y'all later.
If you or someone you know is experiencing a suicidal crisis or emotional distress, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255.